Hey, what's up, guys? Mike Patrick. Real quick video that was inspired today. I came across a post, and apparently there are a lot of coyotes where I'm at, okay, in Virginia. Now, I never took Virginia for being a place where, you would see coyotes and things like that. But over the last few months, I've been seeing a lot of references to coyotes, like wild coyotes just being out and about, and a lot of people seeing them in the peninsula area in Virginia, right? And so it inspired this video about, keeping a balance with nature. I'm gonna make this real quick. I'm gonna just make a real quick good point. All right, so the thing is, guys, if we can't stay in balance with nature, right, then what's gonna go first? Us or the planet? All right, we just gotta look at it this way: is the Earth gonna go first, or are we gonna go first? Now, my logic is, and to provide some logic and reason, okay, my logic is, if the Earth go right, we gonna go anyway. Does that make sense? And so now, man, the laws of preservation, right? This make a lot of sense to a lot of people, if nothing else, right? Like, first first law is self-preservation. That's how most of us think. That's how most of us act. That's how most of us live our lives. Okay, even if we don't say it, most of us we're pretty selfish species. Correct? If you get down to the root of it, the root chakra, survival and things like that. And so the thing is, with that being said, if we are a selfish species, then a lot of times we just want to do whatever that we think that we want to do that preserves us, okay? But if we ruin the planet, then we can't be preserved anyway. And the problem is we got too many people that think on an individual base, you know what I'm saying? Individually based mindset. And so therefore, it's all about temporary gratitude. And we just want to do what seems to appease us in our own little circle, okay, in our own little box, in our own little mind frame. Most of us don't plan on living that long, right? So most people might have the mentality, if they even think this hard about it, they just might have the mentality of, well, I ain't gonna be here when all that happens, so I don't care. You know what I mean? And then they just move, they proceed accordingly, okay? And all the decisions that are being made are just based off of that. We're not looking at the collective. We're not looking at the collective. We're not looking at our connection with everything. Most people aren't, it's a fact. I'm not trying to down talk anybody, but most people aren't evolved enough to think about how they're connected to everything else and how everything works together. Okay? Not to make this a spiritual video, but everything is connected. Okay? And so when you're talking about self-preservation, you have to look at the karma in that. If all you are worried about is preserving yourself and your little temporary life, your little small block of time, if you lucky 75, 80 years, right? Then how does nature supposed to respond to that when the earth has been here for presumably billions of years? You know what I mean? Some would say thousands of years. Either way, a long time, a lot longer than the human lifespan. All right? And so the thing is, if you don't care about nature from a karmic standpoint, how long is nature supposed to care about you? Okay, if you want to destroy the planet, which in turn would destroy life altogether, then is the planet to pluck off humans, or is it to allow itself to be plucked off? And then therefore no life at all can resume, if that makes sense. So the thing is, we have to remember the main point of this video is that we all connected. When you start thinking on from a higher perspective, on a higher level, then you can understand how you have to understand that there's been other species of humans, okay? We evolved to this point. We're not the same species of humans that we were a long time ago. You know what I mean? We're constantly evolving. Some of us are evolving at different rates, okay? But the planet has had to get rid of other humans before. You know what I mean? Who were actually living in harmony with the planet more so than we are. You see what I mean? Neanderthals are extinct. That's just for one. But there's been, do your research. If you can find it these days on the internet, there's been a whole lot of other species of humanoids that have become extinct. Okay? But the planet is still here. Okay, guys? So when we have no reverence for the planet and the balance and how everything is part of an ecosystem, okay, then it's only fair and it's only right. And I know people do not like to hear stuff like this, but it's logic, it's reason, it's the truth. But I know it's taboo because we are so selfish as a species that we don't want to hear nobody talk like this. But it would only make sense that the planet would have to get rid of the problem before the planet gets rid of everything. And so not only does humanity as a species allow itself to suffer as a whole, you know what I mean? But everything else has to suffer in result of the human species as well. Every other animal. So do you really think that every other animal, in theory, and despite our egos, you know what I mean, and our arrogance, the human is only another animal anyway, be it the most intelligent animal, so we think, you know what I mean, to our knowledge, it is just another animal. So is one species supposed to just ruin it for all the species on the planet, for the whole planet itself? Is Earth supposed to become Mars by the time humans are done with it? And in turn, humans are done anyway, unless they can get off planet or something like that. And then what? Go destroy another planet that's habitable. So, and then the thing is, people who not as caught up in the rat race, there's people who don't have to deal with the day-to-day distractions that most humans have to deal with, and in turn is contemplating and does have the resources and the ability to try to go out and really explore that idea of trying to get off planet, because these people also know that the planet is in grave danger and life on the planet is in grave danger and almost pretty much kind of irreversible. You know what I mean? How fast it can happen can be manipulated, but it's kind of irreversible. And so therefore they trying to get off planet while the rest of us are just contributing to the problem. You know what I mean? And just trying to get along in our individual lives with no regards for future generations and things like that. But we say we do what we do for what? Our family, right? And future generations. So you see the contradiction in it? So I think I said enough. I think I made all the good points about how we all connected. So that's why as you begin to evolve, even from a selfish standpoint and from a self-preserving standpoint, you'll realize why you got to be better to your fellow man. Why you got to be better to everything around you that's in nature, because we are all connected and everything is connected, and you do have karma, okay? And man has not tallied up good karma for itself on this planet, okay, to the point where the whole planet is in danger. So look at it from a big standpoint. You would not allow nobody to come into your house, right, and put your whole house in danger. Are you gonna put that person? That person might not want you to put them out. You see what I'm saying? Because that person may be selfish, and they just might want the comfort that they could have from being in your house for however long they could be in there. So they don't want you to put them out because they're being selfish in their flesh. But you like, okay, it's other people in this house. I got pets, I got dogs, I got cats. You see what I'm saying? I got children, future generations in this house. You know what I'm saying? I'm in this house. This house, you know what I mean? I find value in this house itself. You see what I'm saying? If this house had a spirit or a soul, it would want to stay standing. You know what I mean? So look at it from an earth standpoint. The earth is alive. You know what I mean? So with that said, would you, would you get rid of that person, or would you would you allow the whole house to be taken down? You see what I mean? And then another good point I was making to reiterate is how, but I'm not gonna make this that type of video, but it's a good point how there's people who not caught up in the distractions that we caught up in. No matter how much you think that it's rational or reasonable to be caught up in these distractions, you know what I mean? Having to, that's part of the reason that you have to work and stuff. It ain't, for you, it's just about survival. For the people who are not operating on survival time, and they feel like their survival is a given, you know what I mean, under the circumstances that most of humanity live in, they not thinking about that. They thinking about the big picture, the type of stuff I'm talking about. Okay. And so it's no coincidence that trust me, if they felt like they can live on this planet forever and that certain things weren't going on, they wouldn't even be taking it as serious. A lot of stuff we don't know about. They got to dribble little stuff out to you. So if you're doing enough research and if you keeping your eye on things, you see what is being done. But they not going to tell you that they trying to get off the planet. You see what I'm saying? Because they not in position to. But I don't have no responsibility to nobody else. You see what I'm saying? Other than the collective, because I realize what my karma is in doing so. You know what I mean? And I understand how I'm connected to everything, so I'm doing what I believe is right because I would want somebody to do it for me. You know what I mean? And it's necessary because there's not enough people doing it, especially depending on your demographic. All right. So we sprinkled all throughout different demographics and different situations, okay, in order to reach different people. Hopefully this was a helpful video. Peace.